Welcome to Venice, one of the most beautiful and iconic cities in the world.
The only place where you can watch passing gondolas, stroll down the narrow streets filled with authentic Italian eateries and handcrafted shops, and sample some of the best ice cream that you will ever eat.
Now, people told us that it was not a child-friendly city, and we'd be mad to bring our 2 young children. But we did.
This is Clara, and she is 7, and this is our 2-year-old Poppy.
And we're here to show you that a family trip to Venice is absolutely an experience not to be missed. But before we dive into this, let's go back to the beginning.
Yesterday.
Right, we're here. Bristol Airport. We're parked up, Silver Zone parking. We're all packed up
It was
for
nice
3
and
weeks.
easy.
It was very easy, yeah.
Now we just have to figure out a way to get all the bags and the suitcases and the children through security and onto the plane. Let's go.
Let's see if it works. Into the sanctuary of Bristol Airport. So, got to be in separate bags per passenger. Clara's just having fun spinning around on her pushchair. Oh, and fell off.
Travelling with 4 carry-on cases, 4 backpacks and a pushchair probably wasn't the best idea. In future we won't be stingy and we'll pay for checked luggage.
Hi, aeroplanes. Are you excited? You want to get on the airplane now? That's our airplane right there. That's going to put some fuel in the aeroplane so we can fly all the way to Venice. That sound good? Travelling with kids isn't always easy, but their excitement makes it all worth it. Plus, witnessing the funniest reaction to a takeoff we'd ever seen. Our flight was only 2.5 hours from the UK, but we made sure that the girls had plenty of activity to keep them busy. Of course, they had multiple trips down the aisles to explore the plane too.
And before we knew it, we had touched down at Marco Polo Airport.
However, little did we know that once we entered the airport, we would be faced with a queue at immigration for almost 2 hours.
Many unbearable hours later.
We left the airport and jumped onto a bus transfer to Mestre train station. It cost €10 each and Poppy was free. A short ride later and a 3-minute walk from the station and we arrived at our hotel. Here we are, we made it.
Welcome to our room. Super spacious. Basic, but that's what we wanted. 2 single beds.
We got beds.
These girls are very excited.
Oh my goodness.
2 bunk beds. So a bit high for you.
Give her the bottom bunk, Clara.
We have to do make our own beds. Your favourite job, Dad?
Yeah. Bathroom facilities, let's check them out. Oh, nice. No bathtub, but that's all good. We've got a bidet, or a bum washer as Clara calls them.
The next morning.
Here we are. Just gone 7. Hey, Famalam.
Hello. It was a super easy walk to the train station, wasn't it? What, 5 minutes? Is that?
Yeah, if that.
We're going into Venice. Going into Venice.
We're off the train. We're in Venice. Nice little travel.
Yeah, it was quite fun, and when it stopped, I tried to balance. It was a little bit wobbly.
A little bit wobbly.
I would say
8 minutes coming in.
coming with children, stay in my truck, so much easier. You have to drag luggage around Venice. Dumped my bags off, had a good night's sleep. 5-minute train ride here, and it cost the grand total of €1.45 each, and Poppy was free.
That's a return.
Easy. Finally, it was the moment I have been dreaming of after many months of planning. I cannot tell you the feeling you get walking out of the train station and seeing that view for the first time. There really are no words. We arrived early to avoid the summer crowds. It made it much easier to navigate with young children, and they get up early anyway, so we utilised the time well.
We hopped onto a Vaporetto, which is a water bus, right outside the train station. It was a very easy way to get around Venice, and a 75-minute ticket cost around €10 each. But day passes are also an option. Clara was really impressed to see how the Amazon packages were delivered to a city with no cars or prime vans.
We cruised down the Grand Canal, taking in the sights for the first time.
As it was early, we really got a feel for daily life in Venice, which is so different to what we know. We watched construction workers operating cranes on barges and gondoliers preparing their gondolas for the day's work. The city was just starting to wake up, and it was so much fun to see the locals heading out to work by boat.
A boat trip down the Grand Canal is also a great way to see the main sights of Venice, such as the Rialto Bridge, without having to battle crowded streets, and climbing up and down the many bridges with a pushchair.
And before long, we arrived at our destination, the famous Piazza San Marco, which was much quieter than we anticipated. We headed to our first stop on our itinerary.
Welcome to the Dois Palace.
We're in.
Hello.
It's just gone 9 o'clock.
It's so quiet.
It's really quiet. It's beautiful.
So we bought our tickets directly from their website rather than going through like via tour or get your guide, and it was super easy. We got them emailed to us, we showed them, and there was no queue. We showed them, went through a little security scanner, and we were in. I would say 5 minutes.
No time at all. Yeah, I've got quite a big backpack today, and the man just said, "Have you got a knife?" I said no, so he let me through.
We've just been told when we go in we have to put our bags, and we've got our fold-up pushchair in like a cloakroom, so you can't take anything with you. So we've just given the kids a snack and some water. They've got toilets everywhere, so with a just potty trained little one, it doesn't seem like a problem here, does it?
No.
Although we did just get told off because Poppy ran into a fountain with a big barrier around it that she wasn't supposed to go on.
Don't go behind the barriers here, where the little fountains are. You will get told off as an adult or a child.
So, should we go?
Let's go.
Let's go.
The Doge's Palace is a palace built in Venetian Gothic style and is one of the main landmarks in the city of Venice. The palace was the residence of the Doge of Venice, the supreme authority of the former Republic of Venice. It was built in 1340 and extended and modified in the following centuries. Ready for your landscapes?
We'll do a big sigh like they would have.
I don't want to do a big sign.
We're inside the bridge now. The Doge's Palace cost €25 for adults, €13 for children, and under 6s go free. We went at their pace and ended up doing a bit of a whistle-stop tour around the palace, but it was impressive, particularly seeing the inside of the Bridge of Sighs and the prison. If you have it in your budget and you don't mind a brisk walk from room to room, it should be on your list of things to do with kids.
After 2 hours in the palace, we headed out into the piazza where the temperature was now 32 degrees Celsius. The girls were hot, tired, and in need of gelato. What are we searching for, Clara?
A nice clean shop selling gelato.
Nice.
I want to go a day before.
This is what it's all about. Gelato in the back streets. Cooling off. Oh.
I cannot tell you how good this is. Now we're here. Now we're in Italy.
We've arrived.
And just as we thought this moment couldn't feel more Italian, we stumbled across this. We strolled around, finding side streets that were much quieter than the main thoroughfares. And we found some beautiful shops, which the girls really enjoyed finding souvenirs in to take home. We gazed in wonder at the countless Venetian mask displays. It truly is a wonderful place to go with children.
After cooling down and grabbing a bite to eat, we headed to our next stop on our trip.
Welcome to the Basilica.
One of the most beautiful places I think I've ever been.
Wait.
With many domes and more than 8,000 square metres of luminous mosaics, Venice's cathedral is unforgettable. It was founded in the 9th century to house the corpse of St. Mark, after a wily Venetian merchant smuggled it out of Egypt in a barrel of pork fat.
We purchased our tickets online directly from the Basilica San Marco website. We opted for the full tour package, which included skip-the-line access to the Basilica, viewing of the Golden Paladoro, and access to the museum and balcony. These tickets were €20 each for adults, and children were free. It was well worth it.
So, note to self, St. Mark's Basilica, when you go next to the museum, there's no signs to say no pushchairs,
But don't bring up a
don't
chair
bother,
because
because
we tried to bring Poppy up and now Poppy's stuck. It's got 1,000 more steps to go.
you've only got a couple more steps, but it's a bit too narrow, and we've just come from there. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm a little bit out of breath.
So these are the original horses. The ones outside are in fact replicas.
True fact. From here, we headed east along the waterfront and found a little park where we could all have a bit of a rest in the shade.
So we've been sat here now about 20 minutes.
And we're hearing this horrible noise. It's like, if you can hear it on the video, and you think it might be a bird, it's actually an insect like a cricket.
An insect, like a
Yeah.
cricket.
Yeah, how amazing is that?
At this point, we had spent over 12 hours on our feet exploring Venice, and we were all feeling pretty tired after a busy travel day yesterday and not much sleep. So we decided to head back to our hotel for dinner and an early night.
Day 2.
Just walked down a little back street and then suddenly we're here.
So we went left out the train station and along the Grand Canal without crossing it. I recommend that with a pushchair. I think we did 9 bridges.
Yeah, I
but
think
we
so.
didn't do any big ones, they were easy to do. And some even had ramps.
We are currently sitting down in St. Mark's Square. Now, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but you're not allowed to sit down normally. But these little beautiful marble benches are one of the only places you can sit. And you're just below the tower as well. Whoa!
And we're going to go all the way to the top.
How are we getting up? You going the stairs?
No way. Look.
Just listening to the tour. They're talking about the tides, how they have an app that tells you when it's the high tide, and it beeps, and the quicker the beep, the more endangered Venice is of flooding, and they all rush to St Mark's Square to try and save the Basilica and Dois Palace from flooding. Just hang around and get all the information for free.
We headed up to the top of the famous Campanile, or St Mark's Bell Tower as it's also known, and admired the beautiful bird's eye views of Venice, approximately 60 metres above the ground. We purchased our tickets in advance directly from Basilica San Marco website. We paid €12 each, and the children under 6 go free.
Purchasing tickets in advance is worthwhile as you are able to skip the long lines that form here. A lift takes you swiftly up to the belfry and viewing points above the piazza. From here you can admire Venice and the surrounding islands in the lagoon. You can even see the Dolomites and far out to sea on very clear days.
We descended back to the ground level to do the next thing on our Venice bucket list, a gondola ride. Anyone that knows me knows that I don't like paying a lot of money for things, so we found the cheapest possible opportunity to go on a gondola. So we're here, we made it across.
So you want to look out for the signs that say Traghetto, which is it's basically a ferry, a quick ferry across the Grand Canal. I would recommend going from just outside St Mark's Square. I think it's the biggest crossing, so you probably get both money. You get a couple of minutes on the gondola.
Oh yeah.
Enough time to get some photos for girls and for them to have an experience. Although I would say it's quite
This bit's quite choppy. If you were closer to the Rialto, further up the Grand Canal, then you'd probably be a lot calmer. But yeah, it was good.
We didn't get wet.
No.
The water's quite close to us.
Did you have fun, girls?
Did you like it? So it was €2 each, including the children. So not €8 for us in total. Which beats the €85 to €100 for a 30-minute gondola ride. If you want to do it, but not spend the money. Venice in the summer months gets very busy and overcrowded, which feels really overwhelming when visiting with children. I would highly recommend crossing the Grand Canal to the Dosa d'Oro area. It's less visited by tourists and much quieter. The children were able to run around freely without any risk of getting lost, and it was a great way to escape the busyness and relax, grab a drink and a snack, and watch the world go by.
Having a cheeky drink and an Aperol Spritz next to the church that featured in the Indiana Jones film. From here we headed back to the waterfront as we had somewhere very exciting to be. We met up with our guide who was going to be taking us on a tour of the Venetian islands of Murano and Burano. We booked this through Viator and it was honestly the highlight of our whole trip. Opting for a tour with a maximum of 20 people is always our preferred choice, as it feels much more personal. Murano was our first stop to see the stunning church of Santa Maria. Oh, it's nice and cool. Bless you.
It's dusty.
Not that way, Pops.
So it's been really nice to come and do a tour, a boat tour. It means that we haven't had to queue for any vaporettos, but also we've learned quite a lot on the way. The lady was telling us all about the history of Venice, how it was built, why it was built.
The shape of it being like a
The
fish.
shape of it being like a fish, that was really cool. Yeah, great.
This church is built in the 17th century and is one of the oldest in the Venetian lagoon. The guide told us all about the history that happened here, including how the original Roman settlers created the mosaic floor with old pottery and tiles from their previous homes, and how there are 4 very large bones placed on the altar that are said to belong to a dragon. Our children were the only ones on this tour, but our guide really catered for them, explaining in a way that they would understand.
The next stop was the main reason why we booked this tour. We got an exclusive demonstration of Murano glassblowing in one of the many factories on the island. As we booked an English tour, the guide and the glassblowers all spoke fluent English, so we didn't need to worry about not understanding the language.
Find your seat, take pictures, videos, no problem.
Grazie.
Prego, prego.
Ah, get in, yes. Shall I? Yeah, true. Alright, girls. It's worth noting that even though you can visit these islands by water bus, this type of sit-down glass blowing demonstration is not available to the general public. It's well worth it, just to see it with our own eyes.
We work with 3 ovens working at 1050 Celsius centigrade or 1940 Fahrenheit.
And yes, it really did feel this hot. Be warned, you may think that 35 degrees Celsius feels hot outside. It was nothing to the heat we felt in here. How he was wearing a long sleeve shirt and trousers in this room, I shall never know.
Watching the glassblower at work was incredible. It truly is an amazing talent. A skill that has been passed down through generations, and they feel such pride in their work. It was an inspiring moment for our children to witness as they looked on in awe.
After our demonstration, we had some time to purchase a few souvenirs before heading back across the lagoon to our next destination, the beautiful island of Burano. The picturesque island, once famous for lace, is an idyllic fishing community filled with bold, colourful houses. It is now a popular tourist site and is named one of the most Instagrammable places on earth. We were lucky to visit late into the afternoon when it was much quieter.
Just found the people here are so friendly, especially with the girls. Like they love children. We just stopped for an aperitivo in a cafe back there, and the girls went in to say grazie mille, and they just gave us some cakes in the shape of an S, which are typical in Burano. So they just wanted to share that with the girls and tell them how they were made, and that they were only from here. So it's just so lovely. I love Italy.
We meandered down the streets and took some photos before meeting up with our guide and heading back to the boat. As we cruised back to Venice, we were able to chill and enjoy a glass of Prosecco whilst Clara napped and Poppy enjoyed the boat ride. The choppy seas are no problem for you, Poppy.
So before we say goodnight and say goodbye to Venice, we've had such a lovely time walking around the canals. We found a restaurant right on the water.
And I
Finished up our day.
am right next to the water. Look, my chair's right here and the water's right there. And I thought I'd pick this box near to the water. I just like watching the waves.
A great tip is to avoid touristy areas and cut down the side streets to find cheaper and more authentic Italian restaurants. This one did not disappoint. And as the night fell, this concluded our family trip to Venice. It was the best city break we've ever done. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time as we continue our Italian adventure in Tuscany.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Grazie. Sì, sì.